All right, doctors of our personal injury doctors elite community. Hey, Dr. Tony, your administrator and founder. We got some great stuff coming up in May, and we wanted to introduce Dr. David Barczyk today on a small little overview on what he's got coming up as a event in May. It's May 20th to 22nd, and with all of us being in personal injury and learning different things of that sort, this interest would be a great thing to attend and to get yourself educated in some of the things that always go on in personal injury about car crashes and how it affects injuries and maybe no impacts, but it affects injuries. But Dr. Dave Barczyk's going to tell us a little bit about what's coming up. He is one of our colleagues. And so we invited them out to tell you all about it. Dave, thanks for being here and a little bit of time with us to tell our doctors what kind of events you got coming up in May.
Yeah, my pleasure, Tony. Thanks for having me on. This, we call it CrashCon22. It's going to be in New Orleans, May 20th to 22nd. Just my background is obviously I'm a chiropractor. I went to Life. I did all of Art Croft's courses, and I felt myself wanting a little bit more. So I got certified in accident reconstruction and in crash biomechanics. So I do expert work in those two fields. And I still have 6 clinics that treat people, right? So I'm still in a clinician first, and I have this other training. And we're basically getting together and crashing some cars together, right? Because it's really fun to break stuff, right? So, but the idea is on the Friday we're gonna do as many crashes as we can do from 8:30 to 5 p.m. We got 2 engineering groups that are coming to instrument the people. So we're gonna do low speed crashes with human occupants that are safe, so we can study how people move inside of the car. That's what crash biomechanics is, right? And for doctors, you're testifying hopefully about injury causation. There's a lot that we know about injury causation, specifically in rear end crashes, but in side impacts and frontal impacts, there's a lot that's been studied that we know that clinicians need to know in order to give their causation opinion, and based on rock solid facts, not just on simply the history.
So this is actually human beings in these cars. Are they going to go like in different speeds with an impact, so you can kind of get an idea of the physics of the body mechanics of what happens through an impact, correct?
Exactly. So we're gonna start really low. So in a rear end crash, we're going to do what we call delta V, or change in velocity or change in speed. We're going to keep them the change in speeds under 6 miles per hour, and all of our crash subjects are college kids, so we don't have to worry about them, the risk being too high for them, So we'll have the same person do a 3 mile per hour delta V, 4.5 mile per hour delta V, and maybe a 5.2, so you can see it ramp up and you can see the difference in what the energy looks like. But you also get to see the difference live of what does the bumper look like in those 3 speeds, so you have something to base your opinions on, right? That's the key, is putting the accident reconstruction part, looking at the bumper and some other materials. How much property damage is there, and what does that translate into the delta V, and how many G's in that delta V? So we know that in an injury, we know what it takes in the cervical spine in a rear end crash, how many G's it takes to compromise a disc or a capsular ligament. It's 5 G's. We know that, right? That's more information that you're going to learn if you come to this thing. What's the difference between a rear end crash, a side impact, and a frontal in that injury threshold, right? And we have this phantom driver, so we can drive the cars remotely. So the day's going to end with a couple of airbag deployments without people in them. So we're gonna really see some high speed stuff too, because we have the benefits of having a phantom driver, so we don't have to risk a person's injury.
Now, if they view this, they go to this and they see this physically, the activity, are they able to get any kind of, and when it's processed, maybe any kind of documentation that your team's going to have so they can have for their offices to give the attorneys to file, offset some of these adjusters that are third party saying, well, there's no damage to the car, but the neck was whipped around, so they weren't hurt. So is that going to be able to be obtained by the doctors?
Yeah, so you're going to get a certification from the Barczyk Biomechanics Institute. But Friday is just crash day. There's going to be lecture where I'll be lecturing. We got Dr. Narahan Yoganandan, who's a PhD in biomechanical engineering, and he's one of the most published guys in this. He's not a clinician, but he's published. So we need to combine the clinician part and the engineering part for docs to get. We're going to give you data. I'm going to give you, you're going to learn what the articles are, what the literature says, and you're going to leave there with this information after Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you can go back, you can have lunch with your attorneys and say, this is what I've learned. You're going to get a copy of the crash videos emailed to you after. So you're actually going to have the videos where you can go to lunch and say, look at this. And you can market yourself as an expert in this, or at least you have this knowledge and you can help them with the way. I'm even going to talk about how you take your notes, what's important, the document, what's important in the physical exam for you to express. I mean, there's all of this that goes into it. I've been to court so many times that every time I go to court on a biomechanics case, I learn something new. Because something else comes up and you have to implement these things.
All right, great. So I know a lot of the doctors here that are listening and are seeing this always ask about, what kind of cool things that they can attend now since travel's picking back up again with the pandemic. And hey, where else can you see but down in New Orleans? You can hit Bourbon Street, go to the beignets, hit the river walk, all kinds of good stuff while you're down there. So I just wanted to get Dr. Dave here to tell us this was coming up in May for our PI Doctors Elite community. You can attend this. We're going to have the link to register and all the information below this, and periodically between now and when the event takes place, you'll see the information on our PI Doctors Elite community. Dave, Dr. Dave, you want to add anything else, or?
Yeah, just real quick, that it is going to be approved for continuing education, right? We have
Good.
Texas Chiropractic College as a sponsor, so that they're taking care of all that for us. I've had this approved before in multiple states. We've done this. We did this once in 2016, and then the pandemic hit and it put us off of doing it again. So you will get continuing education, and there's no better place in the country in May than in New Orleans with the weather, the music, the food, and you're going to learn something that's going to benefit your practice. When you go back to work on Monday, you're going to have some new things to put into your narrative reports and new things to tell attorneys that you're doing and that you have gained some expertise at. So you're really not going to want to miss it.
No doubt. I've been out 39 years doing personal injury. I have not even heard of this activity going on in all those years. So this is kind of I don't know if it's a new event that you're putting together, but it looks like it might take a lot of efforts and dedication to what you're doing to help a lot of the personal injury doctors and just education in general. And we appreciate you. And Dr. Dave's been actually a member of our PI Doctors Elite community, I realized, for the past few months. So, a lot of the doctors ask, how can we add value to a lot of the educations to our doctors? And this is what our community is all about. So I wanted to bring him on. He's putting this all together for us. And again, it could be a great thing to learn and actually have a good time down there while you were learning a lot of things about the impacts. So, all right. So you will give us the information again. It's May 20th, 22nd, correct? Down in New Orleans, and we'll have the information posted so you can just click on register and be able to attend. So I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
and Tony, real quick, if they want to go to Barczyk Institute, that's BARCZYK Institute.com. They can look and see the event. And like I said, you'll have something to click on, but I just want to get that website just in case.
Okay, yeah, we'll get that. We'll definitely get that website. This way they can just view it right there and click it right on. So,
All right, man.
all right.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on, man.
You bet. Thank you for your time today and everything you're putting together for education for our personal injury doctors. All right, Doc, this is Dr. Tony, your administrator and founder. We're going to get everything posted when we get it all together for you to have. And we'll have it out there between now and when the event happens, May 20th, 22nd in New Orleans. All right. You all take care and make it happen.
Thanks, man.